Hi guys, welcome to my channel. As I promised in my previous video, in this video I'm going to explain the concept of ASCII table, and then I'm going to give you an idea, an example of a program that is very beginner friendly, very simple, but also very fun, and that you can build only with knowledge from my two previous courses and this one. So if you haven't watched those, make sure to watch them. Link is going to be somewhere here and also in description. And also make sure to like this video and to subscribe to my channel for more educational content. And let's begin now. So what is ASCII? Well, ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, and it was first created in order to standardize the way of representing characters in your computer. So in ASCII table, those characters are represented as numbers, numeric codes. And what this means is following. Let me give you an example. When I first learned to read and write, so when I was a little, I decided to, together with my friend, create our special symbol language where we would exchange each character with a special symbol that only two of us could understand, and then we would exchange letters using that symbol language, and no one else could understand those letters. And also, guys, write in the comments down below if you did that. I know you did, so don't make me feel like a weird one. Well, that is exactly what your computer does. It exchanges each character with a number so that it can understand it and it can communicate with other computers. So this means that your computer or ASCII table assigns to each character a unique number. And let's prove that now. So how we can do that is, in my Visual Studio, I'm going to say cout. And then in these parentheses, I'm going to say int, and then these single quotes, and I'm going to say letter A. And let's add end line. So this is one way of doing that, and then there is another way of doing just the same thing, and that is, let's say cout, and then int, and then inside these parentheses, we are going to say our single quotes and our letter A, and also add end line. So this here is called casting operator, and it is the operator that forces one data type to convert into another. And since we said that each character has its numeric pair inside ASCII table, well, we can ask our computer to give us that pair. So here I'm saying, please tell me what is my numeric pair of my letter A. So what number is my letter A? And if I run my program now, you see that I got 97. So our lowercase letter A is 97 in ASCII table. Let's check now a capital letter A. So I'm going to say cout, int off, and let's put our capital letter A and one more end line. So if I run my program now, you see that I'm going to get a different number, so 65. And this is so that your computer can distinguish between lowercase and uppercase letters. So ASCII uses seven bits to represent each character, and that means that it can represent 2 to the power of 7. That's how much characters it can represent, so 128 characters. And that is enough for all English characters, so all English lowercase and uppercase letters and numbers, and also some special symbols. But there is also a lot more languages, and also languages that have a lot more characters. So there is a lot more standards for representing those characters inside your computer. So this that we have just mentioned is called ASCII, and there is also extended ASCII. That is another standard that can represent more characters. Then there is also UTF-8, UTF-16, and a lot more different standards. So what we should remember for now that is related to ASCII is that ASCII represents each character with a number, so it holds its numeric match, its numeric pair in its table, and then that we can also get that numeric match using our casting operator. So this here is a casting operator. So now you may ask, if we can get a numeric value of our letter, so if we can get our int number of our letter, can we do vice versa? So can we get a character from our numeric value? And the answer is yes, we can convert a number into a letter also, and I'm going to demonstrate how we can do that in a moment. So you can say cout char, and let's say char of 65, and add end line. And if I run my program, you see that I'm going to get a letter A, so capital letter A. And now with this, when you learn this, you can get an idea on how you can build something more useful than just basic Hello World application. So you can, for example, build a program that ciphers words and sentences in an ASCII, and then also a program that deciphers those messages back into English readable characters. So now we are going together to build a program that ciphers words into ASCII codes, and then I'm going to leave to you to build the program that deciphers those words back into English readable characters. So let's say that we want to cipher a 5-letter word. So what I'm going to do is, what I need to do is to create 5 char variables. So I'm going to create 5 char variables, then I'm going to let my user input his letters inside those 5 char variables, and then I'm going to write out encoded words. So I'm going to convert all of these letters in ASCII codes, and then I'm going to write that out to my user. So I'm going to, in a certain way, cipher his word. So I'm going to say here char C1, char C2, and then char C3. And I want to stop here for a moment. I want to explain one thing. When we first were talking about creating variables, we said that this is the way of creating variables. So you say the type of your variable, so char in this case, and then you say what name you are going to give to your variable. So in this case, this is our C1, C2, C3. So this way of creating variables here, it is correct, but it is a bit tedious for this current situation. There is another way of creating more than one variable, and I'm going to demonstrate that now. So what you can say also, what you can do is char C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5, and all separated with this comma sign. So you can create more than one variable in one line like this, but only if all of those variables are of the same type, and in this situation they are. So all of these variables are of type char. So I've now created 5 variables of type char. And another thing that I want to mention is that in upcoming videos we are going to learn how we can let our user decide how many characters, how many values he wants to enter during the execution of our program. So now we have hard-coded these 5 values, but we are going to learn more in the following courses. And also another thing is that also in C++ there are a lot of solutions that you can use already made, so that you can enter whole words or sentences, so you don't have to enter your word letter by letter, so you don't have to create variable for each letter that you want to enter. But what I'm trying to explain here and what we want to understand here is how it really works in the background, so how it works inside. You have to understand that, and I believe that that will give you a great advantage over those programmers that just know how to use something rather than how to make that something by themselves and then use it. So I have here created 5 variables, and each one to hold a character that we will enter, and let's enter them now. So what I'm going to say is cout, enter 5 letters, and then I'm going to say cin, and I'm going to put all my variables here. So C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5. So if you can see here, I have entered all of my 5 variables in a single line. So you can do this. You can bind these operators like this so that you can enter more than one variable in a single line. The same way that you can bind your cout operator so that you can write out more than just one string. So now what we are left to do is we have to write out our ASCII message. So what I'm going to say is cout ASCII message, and then I'm going to put int C1. Let me write that out really quickly. So I have written this message here, and what I have said is console output ASCII message, and then I have combined these cout operators so that I can write more than one variable in a single line, so in a single command actually. So I have said give me my int code of my C1, so give me my ASCII code of my C1 variable, and then put a blank space, and then give me my ASCII code of my C2 and also C3, 4, and 5. And I have also used these blank spaces because I don't want to write just a single number in a single line, because I want to know where my first character ends and where my second character begins. That's why I'm going to separate those codes with an empty space. And also there's another thing that I want to mention, and it is that when you want to convert your variable, so the value that you're holding in your variable, and when you use your casting operator on that, you don't put your variable in a single quotation marks, you just put the name of your variable, like this example here. So if I run my program now, you see that I get my message, so enter 5 letters, and I'm going to enter hello, and you see now that I have this output ASCII message is 104, 101, so 108 and 108, so that is our letter L. You see that it has the same code, and now I have gotten this ASCII message which is our ciphered word. And also there is one thing that I want you to keep in mind, and that is that this program here will not take into consideration your enter or your space key as a letter. So if you put your enter or your space key however much times you want, it will not treat it as a character. There are some other functions that you can use in your C++ if you want to capture your enter, for example, or your space key, such as cin.get. If you really want, you can Google that out. But at this point, we are keeping this very beginner friendly, so this will not capture your enter and your space. So let's just prove that. I'm running my program once more, and I'm going to put enters and spaces, and you see nothing is happening. And then if I enter hello once more, you see that I'm going to get the same numbers, so the same message as before. So we have built here a program that ciphers our words into ASCII, and we have built this program after just studying a little bit of coding. So imagine what you can do if you learned more. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and also like this video if you want to support me in filming these videos. And also I'm going to leave to you to write a program that is going to decipher these messages from ASCII back into readable English words. So you also can put your suggestions of a code in a comments down below. And also what you can do, you can upgrade this program here that we have written so that you can put in more words, more sentences if you want, and then you can put those encoded messages in the comments, and everyone who wants to read those messages is going to have to build a program that is going to decipher those messages into readable English. So subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.